What is up, Pewter Peeps? Welcome into the latest episode of the Pewter Cast, your favorite show involving Bucs news, analysis, takes, hot and otherwise, and plenty more about the world champion of professional football. That is Ren. I am Steve Carney. It is great to have you here on a Thursday morning as we are live here because Ren and I, our schedules have gotten all out of whack. And with everything that has gone on, we have decided that a morning show has worked out best this week, especially following all the things that have gone on this week. And we will get to a ton of stuff here on the show. But I want to start off, Ren, by asking how your week has gone. I know it's been a very busy and exciting week in the land of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but what has it been like in the land of Ren?
It's been fine. It's been good. Have we talked since I burnt my hand?
No, you burned your hand.
I burnt my hand pretty bad.
How the hell did that happen? Now, for people that don't know, Ren works in the restaurant industry.
Yes, I went back. Yes, after 7-year hiatus of 20 plus years in it, and a 7-year hiatus, I decided.
Just when you think you're out.
Yeah. I'm not gonna try to do my De Niro.
They drag you back in.
Of course. Save it for Carney. So yeah, I grabbed a hot handle. I was grabbing some veggies out of a steam pot, and the handle was actually over an open flame for like 4 minutes. And I didn't notice, so I went to grab it and
obviously an aluminum handle or a cast iron handle.
It was just a metal handle.
Metal handle, yeah.
Yeah, just a metal handle.
Not a melted plastic handle.
No, I would have noticed that. Yeah. So about 18 hours of grasping ice inside of a like a dish towel, the pain finally ceased, and now it's gonna go on a week, coming up on a week, and now it's starting finally to blister up, so I gotta pop them and get rid of them. But when it first happened, of course I jumped up and down and I might have cursed a little.
A little. And
then I opened my hand to look at it, and you could see the outline. It was like a perfect copy of the handle, like across my fingers and on my palm. And I was like, oh, that's not going to be good.
No.
But I finished up. I finished the rest of the day one-handed. I was the one-handed bandit back there. And so I guess that's really about it,
I love Ren's stories when it comes to these. I can almost see it. Oh God, I'm trying to remember if this was a movie or an SNL sketch where like somebody gets a basketball block back into their face, and you can see the Spalding written across their forehead. You can see that in your hand, the name of the pot spelled out on from the handle.
I think that's from Castaway.
From Castaway. Oh God.
Yeah. He got cut out though. It was when Tom Hanks tried to kill himself, and the tree broke, and he lands on Spalding that's way down on the beach. And he gets He gets the reverse lettering across his forehead.
Wilson across the forehead.
Wilson?
Yes.
Wasn't Spalding?
No, it was Wilson.
I always get that wrong because both work for me.
Yes, it should work, but yeah, it was a Wilson volleyball that they used because Wilson paid all the money to be in there. But what
would be a name that would not work? Like what brand of sporting goods? Because Spalding, like, that's kind of like you can get away with that as a name. Wilson,
Rawlings, maybe, yeah.
There you go.
I mean,
new era.
New era, yeah. Under Armour.
Under Armour, come back.
Oh God. Oh, we're getting into it early here on the Pewter Cast this morning.
Anyway, how have you been?
It's been an interesting week for me because I've been going back and forth this week between the two other teams that I've been working for here this year with a Raptors game and then a bunch of Rays games that have not been very successful against the New York Yankees as they've dropped both of the first two games of
Breaking
that
news,
series.
Rays can't hit.
Nice. Oh God. I will tell you, I spent probably a good 2.5 hours after last night's game trying to explain to Rays fans how one player is not going to turn around the lack of hitting that team is dealing with right now.
Is the Wander Franco?
Oh, it's all about Wander. It's all about Wander will turn everything around for the Tampa Bay Rays. Much like with the Buccaneers, one player does not equal a turnaround. Although one player did turn around the Buccaneers.
But then one player does.
Yeah. Well, when I'm not equating Wander Franco to Tom Brady. When you're talking about, yes, probably the best prospect in baseball versus the greatest player ever to put on a pair of shoulder pads, there's a big difference in that. But
so did you calm everybody down?
No. I there was a really good conversations. There were a lot of statistics that were thrown around, and we all know about statistics, how there are lies, there are damn lies, and there are statistics. And you can manipulate those to suit your needs in any way possible. Yes. And I was able to do so pretty successfully.
And I use it to my full advantage.
Damn straight on that. But we have a ton to get to here this morning on the Pewter Cast. Of course, the NFL schedule is now official. We know exactly how the Buccaneers will look to defend Super Bowl 55, and we will get to that here in a few moments when it comes to the breakdowns. I don't think we're going to go all Mike Francesa on it, going, that's a win, that's a loss, that's a loss. But there are certain aspects of the schedule that I certainly want to touch on, and I know that, Ren, you want to get to as well. We've got a couple of hypotheticals that we will get into, and first, we will discuss Jason Licht and his interview earlier this week on the Rich Eisen show, which was eye-opening. If you did not get a chance to watch it, we will break that down here in just a moment. But this episode of the Pewter Cast is sponsored in part by Manscaped. That's right. Manscaped is back with the Pewter Cast. And for fellas, you gotta watch out for your bits. Yeah, I mean that's part of being a healthy adult male, is knowing what you need to do in order.
Healthy male.
Yes, a healthy man. Healthy men know what it takes to stay healthy and to stay well groomed, and what women are looking for in that aspect. And Manscaped helps you with that. I've told this story before, Ren has heard this story when it comes to Manscaped. I was in the Navy for 8 years, and I had a guy that I worked with that thought that the razor that you used to shave your face was supposed to be the same razor that you used to shave your bits.
Okay. Well, we don't have that problem anymore with Manscaped.
No. Thank you to Manscaped, because they have their brand new lawnmower 3.0 with the ceramic blade and the long battery life, and it's what you should be using to help stay groomed and happy in the nether regions. And we've definitely got an opportunity for you to pick up the new lawnmower 3.0 at a discount. If you go to manscaped.com, use the promo code FANSIDED20, you get 20% off of your order and free shipping as well. Again, go to manscaped.com, use the promo code FANSIDED20, get 20% off your order and free shipping. Ren, the general manager of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jason Licht, was on the radio earlier this week. He made an appearance on the Rich Eisen show on Wednesday, I believe.
Is it radio or is it like?
It is syndicated. I believe it's on Sirius XM.
I think you can watch it on you. Can you watch on YouTube live?
You can watch it on YouTube. You can. I don't know if it's live on YouTube anymore. I know it's live on Peacock. If you have the Peacock streaming app, which is NBC's streaming app, you can watch that along with the Dan Patrick Show. Those are both on Peacock, and Eisen's show is also on Sirius XM Radio. It used to be on Fox Sports Radio. I'm not sure which channel hosts it anymore.
Yeah, no one cares.
But it's not a bad show.
I've always liked Rich Eisen.
Yeah, and Rich is fantastic. Of course, on the NFL Network, and we all remember him from SportsCenter back in the day. Although it's been, I think, 15 years since Rich was on ESPN, and people still talk to him about being on SportsCenter. Hey, I think I saw you on SportsCenter. No, you didn't.
Yeah. Great show last night. What?
Yeah, yeah. It was. We had a good show on NFL Total Access. No, I thought you were on SportsCenter. Not so much. But Jason Licht was on with him, I believe, on Wednesday. And I thought it was an eye-opening interview because it really shed some light on the trials and the tribulations that the front office had to go through to make sure that everybody got back. I thought it was funny that Jason, when he doubled down, saying, "Yeah, we're gonna try our best to bring everybody back," and then he told Rich, he turned around and went, "What did I just say?"
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, hold on. Let me try and walk this back. I thought it was a fantastic interview, and the fact that you heard that, you got a little bit of an insight into the relationship between Tom Brady and the front office.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about, because I can't tell you how many times I've heard on across ESPN, NFL Network, wherever, radio, podcast, Brady, demanded Leonard Fournette, and that's why they got him. Brady, Antonio Brown wouldn't be here because of Brady and all this. And a lot of questions have been asked by beat reporters and national reporters, about that, how much influence Brady has, to put a wide scope on it, how much influence Brady has on personnel decisions or roster decisions, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And you've heard answers from BA and Jason Licht, and they deny it, but they're not really clear. And here's an example. I think it was after the Super Bowl, and it was BA and Jason Licht at the same time, and they were talking, and I don't remember if it was a national show or it was something. It was a press conference, and the beat writers were there. But the question was asked, and they laughed and giggled, and BA said, "Yeah, I don't even think Tom knew Leonard Fournette was in the building." Now that doesn't clear anything up. Like Brady could still go, hey, Jason, hey, BA, we need to go get Leonard Fournette. And they go, okay, we will. And then they get him and he gets there and Tom doesn't know he's in the building. So that doesn't clear anything up about what the relationship is.
Yeah.
So, Rich Eisen, was very polite about it and talked about, being like, I know it's just, this is a touchy subject and I asked this gingerly and things. And I think the answers that Jason Licht gave during this interview really sort of cleared it up. Like we do, like he gave Giovanni Bernard as an example. A free agent running back out of the Cincinnati Bengals, who now the Bucs picked up this offseason. Jason Licht went to Tom or asked Tom, however they did it, Zoomed and said, hey, we're trying to get Gio. He might need a little push. Can you help? And Tom's response was, yeah, sure, I'm on it. You got it, whatever. But then also Jason said, like, they don't sit down in a room, on the big board and go, these are our plans for the future. And these are the type of players we're looking for. And these are the names we're going. And Tom's sitting there. It's not like that at all. So we finally got sort of this concrete evidence about how much they talked to Tom, but the decision's already been made. It's like, hey, like we want Giovanni Bernard.
Yeah.
And he might need a little push. Can you help? Not like, hey, Tom, we want to upgrade our third down back. Who do you like? Yeah. So I thought that was the best part of the interview and there was more questions in there. And you should go watch. It's on YouTube. There's more questions in there. And I think it really sort of clears up once and for all sort of how much Tom demands or asks or is even involved in these personnel decisions.
Yeah, and they also said that last year they said, hey, we're looking at trying to bring in Leonard Fournette. And Tom said, love that guy. He would be a great addition to the team. Mm-hmm. Those are the sort of conversations that are had between the front office and Brady. It's not like, say, in the NBA when the Lakers used to go to Kobe Bryant and say, who do you want?
Right.
And Kobe would say, I want this person and that person. That's not what happens. I thought the other thing that was interesting was that they told Tom that they might take a quarterback in the draft. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Brady's like, hey, you got to do what you got to do in order to make the team better. And so they go out and they take Kyle Trask, unlike a certain other team out there that moved up in the first round to take a quarterback and didn't tell their quarterback that they might be doing that. And that's caused all the discord in a certain other Bay Area with the team and their quarterback.
You can say it. Like you can say Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We're not going to ruffle any feathers, but and Tom's response was, hey, Tom, heads up, if a quarterback falls to us, in the range where we're at, like we're looking to probably taking one. And Tom said, I appreciate you telling me. You didn't need to, whatever makes the team better. Now that's the difference. And what was key for me was like, I appreciate you telling me. So like Jason Licht knows he doesn't have to tell Tom. Tom knows that it'd be out of step for him to demand to be told, but telling him really helps. It's like, look, you didn't have to tell me, but I really appreciate it, because it would have come as sort of what if Tom's like watching the draft? Not that he does, but what if he was, and however he hears about it, and like,
eating avocado ice cream.
Yeah, on his boat, avocado ice cream with drizzled some avocado tequila across the top, and he's
hanging out with Giselle and Antonio Brown, because AB is obviously still living in his house.
Yes, of course. Yeah, he's probably on a jet ski. He's not allowed on the boat because he might start a fire or something. Like, no, Antonio, you got to stay on the jet ski. We're gonna tool around the bay, and he sees Kyle Trask taken at Pitt 64 in the second round, and he'd be like, oh. Yeah,
interesting.
I kind of would have liked a heads up. I didn't need one. I'm a little upset about it. Not like mad, but I'm kind of like, a little miffed, and I understand it, but it would have been nice if I just got a heads up. And, that sort of just that 10-second, conversation just smooths over the waters. It's it's taking an unnecessary risk by not telling him.
Yeah.
And so he would never make it public that he was mad or angry. And so, just let him know. And it doesn't really matter what he says. It's just the point of letting him know, even though you don't have to.
Yeah, it's common courtesy. I mean, but I like the idea of the respect level that's had in the building between the front office and Tom Brady, and the fact that they were able to get Tom extended, and he was willing to do that to help get Jason and the front office the cap relief they needed to bring back everybody so he could make good on his promise, I thought was a huge plus. Here's the other thing about the quarterback issue that I thought that was interesting, because Rich brought up Kyle Trask and asked about Trask being in the room with Tom, and Jason mentioned Tom and he mentioned Blaine Gabbert and did not mention Ryan Griffin.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, obviously,
Ren's right again. Ren's right again. Yeah.
When is Ren not right? Is the quick question.
I think I missed a couple of draft picks.
Yeah, but not
and the Cameron Brate final contract number. I missed.
Yeah, I think I was right on the Brate final contract number. But that's been about it here this offseason. But obviously, writing's on the wall with Ryan Griffin. That he's going to need to find another quarterback to try and hold up after a Super Bowl party. And it may end up being Joe Namath. He may have to go back to holding up retired quarterbacks after Super Bowl parties.
Did you see the part where this had nothing to do with it wasn't in the Rich Eisen interview. The Bucs sent Kyle Trask like a tackling dummy, and now they come with arms.
Yeah.
So the arms are like, one's up and one's down, and it doesn't look like a person, but apparently inside there, the center of gravity, I guess I'll say, is motorized. So when you turn it on, it always changes. So it makes the dummy sway back and forth at all times.
Oh, nice.
And they sent Kyle Trask a video on how to keep his base, and he has to circle around the dummy so he can practice on holding up Tom Brady after the next Super Bowl. Since Ryan Griffin is gone.
That's funny.
Yeah. None of that's true, by the way.
That's a very, very, very funny joke. I mean, but I mean, you've got those, and then everything with the coaching staff. That was the other piece that I wanted to get to when it comes to the interview, talking about Byron Leftwich, and Rich mentioned, sitting in the studio with BA after BA left the Cardinals and was in retirement, and him saying, I don't want to come back unless I have somebody that I can feel confident with calling the plays offensively. And I thought that the conversation that Rich and Jason had about Byron Leftwich was super glowing, and it just shows you that both Rich and Jason Licht understand that Byron Leftwich is going to be a head coach in this league sooner rather than later. And they mentioned Todd Bowles and they mentioned Harold Godwin by name as well, and they mentioned Tom Moore later on with the final piece that I want to get to. But the fact that there is so much I end up having to say mutual respect again, because with the way that Byron called plays last year with Tom Brady, and the way that Harold Goodwin worked with the run game, and Todd Bowles and the defense, I just really think that they're in a great spot to as they said, go for two. You have that ability to double down now, because everybody, the gang is all back. The band is back together for another run. And right now, you're in a great spot. But it was great to hear the respect that's come out about Byron Leftwich. I mean, we know it being here. We've seen it firsthand watching it. But the fact that Jason Licht is going out on a national platform and saying, look, this guy's incredible, and he's the reason why Bruce Arians wanted to come out of retirement. And the fact that Arians didn't have any health issues
Yeah.
you know,
For the first time ever.
The last 2 years is because you've got a guy that he is comfortable in calling plays.
Yeah, that's something Jason Licht, first off, I like a lot about him. Every time, I think the interview started off like, "Hey, you brought everyone back, great job." And the first thing out of his mouth is, "I have a great team." When he did an interview, might have been with Rich Eisen, right after the Super Bowl, he brought I can't believe I can't remember his name, Mike Greenberg, on with him. And it was him and Mike Greenberg talking about building the roster and what it took to bring Tom Brady. And he brought, it was actually Good Morning Football. And he brought Mike Greenberg on and they talked a lot about Jackie Davidson as well. And he's always very quick to when you give Jason Licht the praise, he's always very quick to sort of, kick the praise down the line. Byron Leftwich, went from one of the people who Bucs fans were most frustrated with to he kind of got skipped over because the team started winning and all the praise went to Brady. But if you really sort of watched the games and how the offense sort of morphed, Byron Leftwich had everything to do with it because he calls the plays. There was that one clip I saw. I don't remember the game and who they were playing, but the Bucs are doing well, and it's during a timeout, and it's like there's Byron standing there and Brady standing there, and now needs to look for a job very quickly. RG4 is standing there, and Byron goes, what do you like? What are you looking at? And Brady goes, you're on fire. Like you call it, I'll do it. Like let's go. And that wouldn't have happened, earlier in the season. So. And plus, as a Bucs fan, and I think it's something Jason Licht probably learned with this coaching regime too. Like coaches really, really matter.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really understand as a Bucs fan because I can't remember the last time we had a tier. I guess it'd probably be Dungy and Gruden years, where we had a tier 1 coaching staff and like all the players developed. But I wasn't into the Bucs as heavily. I kind of got this deep into the Bucs, like when Jameis came and Lovie Smith was there, and then sort of seeing their coaching staffs and then Dirk Cutter's coaching staffs, and you're kind of like man, like Rojo is non-existent. Kappa couldn't get on the field. It's like Dirk Cutter had no interest in developing his players, like turning them into pros. He had none. Like you couldn't even get on the field until you showed him he was a pro, but there was no one there to show them how to be a pro.
Yeah.
So it was sort of like this oxymoron thing going on with Dirk Cutter and Lovie Smith's staff. It was just bad.
No, you got to go back. You got to go back to the Dungy Gruden years when they had Rob Marinelli and Joe Barry and Monty Kiffin on defense. I mean, you really couldn't talk much
Mike Tomlin
about the offense. Yeah, Mike Tomlin, Herman Edwards at the very beginning of the Dungy era back in the 90s. But yeah, you get into that 2000 to 2003 years when you had Tomlin and Marinelli and Joe Barry and the likes on defense. But really you didn't have anything offensively. You're not gonna get a whole lot of pros out of Mike Shula if you're Dungy. And Gruden's Super Bowl year, Gruden called the plays. Gruden was the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So, but you haven't seen this on offense maybe ever out of the Buccaneers. I mean, you think about it. I can't remember the last offensive coordinator that you could say, okay, this guy knows how to take talent and mold it into a team. Because you didn't see out of Dirk Cutter when he was Lovey's OC. You certainly didn't see it from Schiano's OCs. You didn't see it from Raheem's OCs. And now then we're back to the Super Bowl. So really, it's the first time that a lot of Bucs fans, if they are under the age of say 25 or even 30 years old, are going, wow, this is what it's like to have a top-notch offensive coordinator make things work.
Yeah, I think Dirk Cutter's been the best offensive coordinator we've had, post Gruden, I guess you could say.
But how much of that is Mike Bajakian working with Jameis?
I don't know. I'm just saying that Dirk Cutter can call plays and put points up. Now he did get into ruts where like he would completely abandon the run game. And again, I'll go back to like if he doesn't think you're ready, you can't even make the field. And when he was offensive coordinator, I don't know if it wasn't his job to sort of develop these guys, but as head coach, it's definitely on your plate. And not hiring the right coaches to be able to develop these guys. And when BA came here, it was like, okay, like I like this, I like these guys, we'll see. And it really made me understand what a tier 1 coaching staff can do. And Byron Leftwich, bring this back full circle, Byron Leftwich has gone from, he's only called plays now for 40 games total, and he's got a Super Bowl under his belt. And probably sooner rather than later, he's going to be a head coach, and possibly, I'm sure the Bucs front office and BA and I'm sure they've had some sort of conversations that, possibly Byron could be the next guy when BA and Tom step down after 2022.
It's a possibility, and maybe it's something, especially if this run continues the way it's going, that Byron's gonna be able to groom Kyle Trask. He's going to be able to be in the quarterback room with Kyle Trask and Tom and go, you know what, I want to stick around because I want to see what this guy can do.
Right.
And maybe that's the possibility. And maybe who knows? I certainly haven't talked to anybody inside the building that maybe those conversations aren't already starting. And that's why Byron, he may get interviews outside, but we'll see what happens going forward. The last thing out of the interview,
okay,
BA's toss. We've heard that Bruce Arians made the initial toss of the Lombardi Trophy from his boat into Brady's boat. I thought the best part about that was Jason's comment that, Bruce is a running quarterback, not a throwing quarterback. Which I thought that was a great comment. That's great.
Yeah. It was more of an option pitch than a pass. It didn't go really end over end. It was that type of deal. Yeah. So BA sort of came out during draft week and said, like, I don't know what all this hubbub is about Tom Brady. Like, I threw it first, And so Rich Eisen, finishing off the interview on a high note and a fun note, finished up with that. But that was a good comment about Jason Licht. And then, of course, being fuzzy about who caught it. And those like, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, and the fact that he would have been fuzzy 20 minutes afterwards, after it happened, as to who made the catch. It's not that the fact that it's now a couple of months down the road, but I thought it was a fantastic interview. I thought Jason came across as
he's improved so much better as a public speaker. 3 years ago, when he started, he was terrible.
Yeah.
And even 3 years ago, you're just kind of like, oh man, this is like getting the information from him was great, but sort of listening him and Hall and stumble through the questions, it's like, oh, it's kind of painful. But he's really, brought in sense of humor, and he's a little self-deprecating, and he's really stepped up his game and become way more comfortable.
Yeah, the only question that I wish that Rich had asked is, you remember when Jason started as the general manager, he used to, after wins, he would jump into his pool when he got home fully clothed. You can't be doing that when you're winning 15, 16 games in a season. You're going to be ruining some serious, you're going to spend some serious coin on them suits.
Yeah. I don't even know how do you get, does dry cleaning work on, like, what do you, like, does chlorine completely ruin that thing? I don't know. He quit that pretty early, though. I think he only did it like 3 times and went, this is a dumb idea.
Can't be doing that. We'll get to the schedule for 2021 here in just a moment. But first, we've got some hypotheticals to bring you about the 2021 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's here on the Peter Cast. Ren, before we get into the schedule for 2021, we've got a couple of hypotheticals to go over. And I love the what ifs in the NFL. That's I think the beauty of the NFL season and the off season. We can get into some of these, things that may come up at some point. We certainly hope that they don't, but there's certainly the ability to go through, some of the best and some of the worst case scenarios when it comes to the upcoming year. And I think you've come up with a couple of interesting ones here this week. These are pretty. These are I think that both of these hypotheticals. There's one that I think is a good one, and one that I think is less good.
All right. Well, I would like to start with the less good because I think I know which one that is.
Yes. So go ahead and give me the first of these hypotheticals.
Okay. Here, I have a fondness for Blaine Gabbert that's only rivaled by Scott Reynolds from Pewter Report. I have said for 2 years now that Blaine Gabbert wins 10 games with this roster. Since it's 17 games, I'll bump it up to 11, maybe even 12 after the schedule came out. Yeah, I know. Everyone talks about how Blaine Gabbert's terrible and, this and that. And no one has any confidence in him. He's sort of, when you hear his name come up on, other podcasts and well, basically other local podcasts, that is put on by outlets, beat writers, fringe media types. They just laugh and dismiss Blaine Gabbert and are very scared about, possibly Blaine Gabbert being successor to Tom Brady. And I'm here to sort of defend him. And
you are a Gabbert apologist.
I'm not. It's not. It's fact. I'm not. What has he done that I have to apologize for? I guess I could say I heard someone say he had 7 offensive coordinators in his first 6 years. So yeah, and now he's been in this offense for 3 years. I think this will be his 4th year. He probably knows the offense better than anybody, on the entire Buccaneers team, let alone quarterback.
Yeah.
So my sort of hypothetical is, when Tom Brady heard the news about Kyle Trask being drafted at 64, he tied the anchor around his ankles and jumped off the boat. And he didn't make it. So now the Bucs are rolling into the 2021 season as Blaine Gabbert, QB1 for the Buccaneers. So hopefully this kind of proves my point. If the Buccaneers with Tom Brady are the consensus odds-on favorite to come out of the NFC to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If Blaine Gabbert's QB1, how far, if at all, do the Bucs drop? What teams do you think you would put in front of the Bucs to have a better chance, better odds, however you want to put it, than the Buccaneers to come out of the NFC and represent the NFC in the Super Bowl?
It's interesting to me because I don't think that there are that many. And you're right. I mean, when you're looking at Matt Castle winning 11 games on a Patriots team without Brady, and that Patriots team had a lot less weapons than this Buccaneers team has. Mm-hmm. I do think that there might be 2, maybe.
Okay, who you got?
I think a Aaron Rodgers led Green Bay Packers team is probably better than a Blaine Gabbert led Buccaneers team. And I think a Russell Wilson led Seattle Seahawks team is better than a Blaine Gabbert led Bucs team. But that's it for me. I think that it's a coin flip in the Wilson one.
What about Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay with the Rams?
I'm not fully convinced that the beating that Stafford took in Detroit isn't going to wear on him. He hasn't been able to
stay healthy for a while now.
You're getting a broken Stafford in Los Angeles. It's certainly, I mean, the ceiling is there with Stafford, but you don't know that the first time that he takes a licking from a Nick Bosa, he doesn't have a separated a sprained AC joint or a separated shoulder.
Right.
And now you're getting half a quarterback.
Right.
A quarterback that really can't throw more than, say, 5 or 9 yards down the field.
Okay, let's say he stays healthy all year.
I think that the weapons that the Bucs have are leaps and bounds overall better. Now, Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp comparable to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. I think they're comparable. I don't think they're better. I think that the tight end obviously is much better. And I like the running back situation that the Bucs have better than I think that the Rams have. So I would think that, yes, even a Blaine Gabbert led Buccaneers is better than a Matthew Stafford. It's definitely better than a Shane Stafford led Los Angeles Rams. Sorry, Shane, but it's also better than a Matthew Stafford led LA Rams team.
What about a healthy San Francisco 49ers? Kyle Shanahan and Trey Lance.
Yeah, I think a Blaine Gabbert led Bucs is better than definitely better than a Trey Lance led 49ers team because of the experience factor. At quarterback, I think for me, looking just comparable, comparing the skill positions, running back, I would go with the 49ers if Mostert is healthy. I like Mostert a lot. I really like Mostert.
Yeah, you do.
I like Mostert almost as much as you like Gabbert. Let's put it that way.
Holy cow. Did he win you a fantasy league or something?
No. As a matter of fact, he didn't.
Did he lose you a fantasy league? As in the other guy had him?
I'm trying to remember. It's been so long since I've done season-long fantasy. I may have lost a couple of weeks in DraftKings because of Mostert. But I like Raheem Mostert overall. The wide receiver, Bucs. I think you go Bucs there. Tight end. Yeah. I mean, I think
push because of the Bucs depth.
Yeah. I think it's a push there, but I would still give the edge to the Bucs over a Jimmy G or a Trey Lance led 49ers.
Does a Blaine Gabbert led Tampa Bay Buccaneers team sweep the NFC South this year?
I think it's a difficult proposition.
Right.
Going to the Superdome is tough. Going to Mercedes-Benz Stadium is going to be difficult. I mean, I think the road game, I think they can. I think it's a possibility that they could go 6-0 in the NFC South. I don't think they. Well, yeah, but I think it'll be tough winning in the Superdome. I think
a Blaine Gabbert led Tampa Bay Buccaneers team sweep the NFC South.
No.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think we sweep it with Tom Brady. I have a feeling that we're going to split with Atlanta this year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough with Atlanta. I think it's going to be tougher with Atlanta, and I still think that game in New Orleans is going to be difficult. Even without Drew Brees.
Well, the Bucs, I think the Bucs do play well. Like, I shouldn't say they play well because they've definitely put some stinkers up there in the last handful of years. But I think also that I think the Bucs play the Saints better in New Orleans than they do at home. Put it that way.
Well, they got swept last year, so
and the year before.
Yeah, and well, but they got swept last year when they won the Super Bowl with this 22.
Yeah,
that's and I don't think they put up a 38-3 stinker at home this year, but against them, especially because that's one of the primetime games, and we'll get into the schedule here in a moment. But yeah, I think that it's better than Rodgers. I think Rodgers and Russell Wilson are the two. I mean, I think it's better than Buffalo, and I think Buffalo is the class of the AFC East this year. Yeah. It's better than anything that the AFC South can put up. It's better than Pittsburgh. Just because this is the end of the line for the Steelers with Ben Roethlisberger. The Ravens, yeah, it's better than the Ravens. I think that a Blaine Gabbert led team for the Bucs is better than anything except Aaron Rodgers and the Packers and Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. At least
I will say Packers, 49ers, Rams. Seattle's has to, like, I'm with you with Seattle. You know, it's kind of a 50-50. So I'm going to kind of err on the side of the Bucs here until Seattle proves that they have an offensive line and can actually score points without having to run the ball. I know Russell Wilson can pull some magic out, and he's a fantastic quarterback and an escape artist, and he's highly accurate, and he can throw 3 touchdowns a game.
And he's got a track athlete in DK Metcalf. Yes,
but the way that works for Seattle to win is when they're able to run the ball. Because what happens too often is sometimes they can't run the ball, and then Russell Wilson does his best. Well, actually, Patrick Mahomes did his best Russell Wilson impression in the Super Bowl. And that's what Russell Wilson has to do, like 9-10 games out of the year, is just run for his life and make something happen, because they can't run the ball. So now they're teeing off, and the offensive line can't stop anybody. So all that put together, I'm going to say a Blaine Gabbert-led Bucs team. I'm going to favor them over the Seahawks, but it's close. But I think the offensive coordinator in San Francisco, head coach, offensive coordinator, Mike Shanahan, getting Trey Lance, opening up sort of like the RPOs and some things he can do. He's not going to put too much on his plate. San Francisco, they have one of the best rosters in the NFC. Of course, it's any team led by Aaron Rodgers you can't count out, and I really think Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, I think they're going to surprise some people. It may take, you have to sort of look at their schedule. It may take some time for them to sort of get the offense humming, but you're right. The injury concerns with Matthew Stafford is pretty big. He was an Iron Man, and it just seems like the past couple of years he just, almost any big hit, it felt like, and I'm not 100% sure, but it seemed like any big hit felt like, he would still play, but it was an injury you could tell would really hamper his performance for like 3 weeks. And then the back issue, which he was out for like 10 games, things like that. So his body's starting to give out on him. But so those are my 3: Green Bay, the Rams, and the Niners. I think would be the odds-on favorite, higher than the Blaine Gabbert-led Buccaneers team. And you just have the Packers and the Seahawks by the slimmest of margins.
Yeah, I think that's probably about it, though. I mean, those.
So you're a Blaine Gabbert fan, apparently.
I look at Blaine Gabbert would have to do a lot to screw this up. Let's just put it that way. Because there's so many weapons there. The other scenario, and I'll give this one to you.
Sure.
If Tom Brady were to, say, become a free agent after this upcoming season, and the Bucs had an opportunity to make the choice at quarterback, of having Brady or Aaron Rodgers under center, where would you go?
Yeah. The way I've thought about this question was, let's just say that this year is the year that Brady contract ran out with the Patriots, and we have these Aaron Rodgers problems, right, in Green Bay. Or you can say the Aaron Rodgers problems happened last year. Okay. So what's going on with Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady wanting to leave the Patriots happened in the same year. And the Bucs have a chance. Where as a fan would you go? So obviously you got Tom Brady. You can't really take out of the equation that hey, he's probably going to win a Super Bowl.
there's a Lombardi Trophy coming.
So it's really hard to take that out of the equation.
But say it's a 7-9 Bucs team,
right?
Coming on. Getting rid of Jameis Winston, and you have the opportunity to either bring in Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Not knowing what was going to happen.
Right. With Aaron Rodgers, it would take more draft capital, and probably a lot of it because it's got to be a trade. Because he's still under contract, but you've got an extra 3 to 5 years, maybe, probably at least 3 years, probable. After Brady retires, Aaron Rodgers is still going to play like another. If he was happy, gets out of Green Bay, and so you have another 3 years of Aaron Rodgers. So 3 years with Brady or 8 years with Rodgers. I guess the first question is that, do you think Aaron Rodgers could win a Super Bowl with this team? Well, yeah, he can, because he went to the NFC Championship. Yeah, he can.
Yeah, with his team.
Yeah. So, I guess it's draft capital for the future against extra years of a tier 1 first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback.
Exactly. And
from what I think, I guess we have to decide what it would take to get Rodgers out of Green Bay. Let's decide on that before that. So, do you think it takes 2 first round? We're not going to go into trading players and that. We're just going to do first round draft picks. It's going to take at least 2. Do you think it takes 3?
I think it takes 2 and a conditional third. I think it ends up being. I think it ends up being. You end up having to trade your 20 first round pick, your 2021 first round pick, and you probably end up with a stipulation saying that you have to trade your 2022 first round pick if you win a Super Bowl either of those 2 seasons.
Okay. So we're going to put it at 2.5. Now the question is, because if this happened in 2020 and not 2021, I would definitely take Tom Brady, because there's no way I'm losing Tristan Wirfs and Antoine Winfield Jr.
Mm-hmm.
If you say this is the break off year, well, I could lose Tryon Trask and
come on, 30, we're getting rid of 32 and 64. Sure, no problem.
It's not as bad.
No, but if this is 2020, you're going to lose 12. And then whatever you're going to get in 2021, and if you win a Super Bowl either of those years,
so we're putting it 2021. So we're going to lose Wirfs and we're going to lose Joe Tryon.
Yeah,
because those picks aren't there. But you get
now you're going to lose, and you're going to lose 20. And it turns out you're going to lose 2022 because you ended up winning a Super Bowl.
Right. Okay. Oh man. Yeah, I'm sick with Tom Brady.
I honestly think that if Jason Licht had gone out and traded for Aaron Rodgers in 2020, he probably loses his job.
What? But how so?
Well, I mean, if he doesn't end up at a point where he wins the Super Bowl, and now you're talking about, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is as amenable to.
I don't know what that means.
If he's as willing then to help under the cap as Brady has been. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers could be like, screw you, you're paying me.
Well, then he wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
Well,
but you end up at a point.
We have to assume that the Rodgers deal would be the same as the Brady's deal. We can't get that complex into it.
Okay. If Rodgers is willing to restructure and be as cap friendly to Jason Licht as Tom Brady, and we're making that assumption.
Right.
I still want Brady. As much as you could have 6 or 7 or however many years with Rodgers.
An extra 5. Whenever Brady retires, we get an extra 5 with Rodgers.
Yeah, an extra 4 to 5 with Rodgers, because that would again make him 43 or 44 years old.
So 8 years with Rodgers or 3 years with Brady, but with Rodgers, you got to give up 2 first round 2 to 3 picks.
Yeah, 2 to 3 first round picks.
So that's what we're saying. Who you picking?
I'm taking Brady.
I'm taking Brady too.
I will definitely go Brady.
I just can't lose Tristan Wirfs. I can't do it.
There's so much that you would end up losing. Yeah, draft capital wise, and I know we go Joe Tryon, who cares, but
if you put it in 2020 or 2021, it's a different story because this team is so loaded.
Yes.
Like if you could give me worse, like it would be a much harder conversation.
And
I was
the thing is you're not. Yeah, the thing is you're not getting out of your 2020 pick if you're making the move in if you're making the move in 2020.
No, let's say we make the move in 2021. That's what I'm saying. We decided on 2020, but what if it was this year? What if this was the year Brady's coming out and it matches up with this year with Aaron Rodgers being very unhappy? So you get to keep Tristan Wirfs, but you lose Tryon, you lose the first round in 2022, and if you win a Super Bowl, you lose in 2023.
Well, I don't know if that's fair because we're coming off of a Super Bowl win. Yeah,
it doesn't exist. I'm just this is.
But then we're not picking 32. We're picking.
Okay, you can't get so complex about it.
But would you have been willing? Let's. All right. So let me pull up the 2021 draft here.
Sure.
Let's say that the Bucs ended up picking 15.
It doesn't matter. The Bucs wouldn't pick in 2021. Whatever happens, if the Bucs get Aaron Rodgers in 2020 or 2021, they're still not picking in 2021.
No, but I'm saying, but if the Bucs don't have Brady in 2020,
right?
They're not winning a Super Bowl.
If they have Aaron Rodgers, they might.
But I'm saying you're saying that he's coming out this year.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I'm telling you that if the Bucs don't have Brady,
sure,
they're not picking 32.
Okay, but it doesn't matter because they're not picking in 2021 in either scenario. With the Rodgers scenario,
yes, like but there's a big difference in saying okay, you're picking 12th.
Right.
You're having to give up a 12th overall pick as opposed to a 32nd overall pick.
Oh, I don't think that matters. I mean, it matters to us in the Bucs, yes, but I don't think it matters in the Rodgers deal. Like, it's still going to be 2 number ones and a possible number 3.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is getting we're getting too crazy.
We're getting way into the weeds. But yes,
we both say Brady. But it is I thought it was an interesting conversation to, put draft capital against another 5 years with Aaron Rodgers. It
is an interesting scenario, but yeah, I think we both want the GOAT.
Yeah,
in that scenario. All right, it is time. The Bucs schedule is out. We're not going all Francesa on it, but we definitely have points to bring up, and we will do that here next on the PeterCast. So, Ren, the schedule came out Thursday evening. Big party, big celebration, big special on the NFL Network. Did
you watch it?
I did not.
No, yeah, you were doing. Yeah, you were.
I was at the
Wander
baseball
Franco
game.
And people.
That's right. I had to Wander Franco people.
Did you see the Gronk?
I did see the Gronk.
Did you like that?
It was okay. I
thought it was stupid.
It was okay. I mean, it's Gronk.
I understand that. Yeah, and that's why they did it. Yeah, but I just thought it was dumber than dumb.
Yes. But they got above 1 million so on Twitter. So congratulations to the Bucs on breaking the mill.
Sure.
So on social media, so good on them. But I mean, we knew already before the special came out that the Buccaneers were going to host the NFL kickoff game week 1. So Thursday night at home. And we found out that it was going to be against the Dallas Cowboys and not the Buffalo Bills, as some people had reported, which I thought was hilarious.
Some people actually went out and reported it.
Yeah, there were people that were out there that were reporting that it was the Buffalo Bills.
Local people?
No, not so many local people. Local people, as in folks that are around Buffalo, thought it was going to be the Bills.
Right. I know Stroud. I don't want to make it sound. I know I said his name. I don't want to make it sound like he reported. He didn't. That was his guess, and it was my guess too, to be honest.
Yeah. There were people in and around Buffalo that were reporting that it was happening.
Sure.
So sorry to them. But it is the Dallas Cowboys that when we found that out on Thursday Thursday morning, I think, was when that or late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning that leaked out. But then the rest of the schedule was released Thursday evening. And I do want to go over a couple of things.
Sure.
I think on the level of 0 to holy crap, the fact that the Bucs got the maximum 5 primetime games, not surprising at all.
Yeah, 0.
I think were you surprised at the breakdown though? I mean,
what do you mean?
Well, they're going to have, apart from the kickoff, it is split 50-50. That you're going to have 2 primetime games at Raymond James Stadium, 2 primetime games on the road. I was kind of surprised that one of them was the Giants game.
Yeah. And the other one is what? The Eagles?
The other home game is New Orleans.
Yeah, but I think like 2 of the 4 NFC East games, NFC least, are primetime.
Yeah. At home against the Giants and on the road against Philly.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 are at home against New Orleans. And that's a late one. That's in week 15. And then of course week 4, which is of course the game that everybody wants to see. And that is the Buccaneers going to Foxborough. Tom Brady's return to New England will be a Sunday night football game. That's not a surprise at all.
No. I think there's only really one part of the schedule where you sort of look at and go, well, that wasn't really in our favor. But the way the Bucs have been screwed over by the schedule makers for quite a few years now, I think this is a really nice schedule that sets up for the Bucs. The bye week's right in the middle.
Yeah.
I would like to have it a little later, maybe week 10, week 11, but whatever, beggars can't be choosers type of deal.
The fact that it's 8, you got 8 games, the bye, and then 9 isn't bad.
Yeah, no, it's about as good as you can ask for. Have a week off right in the middle of the season. Opening with the Cowboys, I get it. I think it's kind of a gift. Their defense was awful, and they got a lot of new players, and Dak hasn't played in a year, so I think that's the best way you could catch the Cowboys. I guess the hard part of the schedule is flying out to LA one week and then the next week flying out to New England.
Yeah.
Playing the Rams and Patriots back to back. But besides that, like they did a really the Bucs, like they have no more than 2 games on the road in a row.
Yeah.
Other years we've seen 3 twice. 4. Yeah. I think the fourth one was because of the hurricane though, wasn't it?
No, it was 2 years ago. I think it was 2019.
It was like 2 on the road, then a bye week, and they came out with 2 more on the road.
2 more on the road.
Yeah, they went like a month and a half without playing at home. Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah,
it was none of that funky stuff.
They missed the entire month of October. I remember they played the last week of September at home, and the first week of November was at home, or the second week of November was at home, and they played the entire month of October. It was 2 games, the bye week, and then 2 more games on the road, which was a real pain in the ass. But you don't see that here in this schedule. But I agree, going on the road to LA and then having to go on the road for that Sunday night game in New England, that's the tough stretch. But you look at it, the Bills are coming to Raymond James Stadium. The Bears are coming to Raymond James Stadium.
Right.
The Cowboys coming to Raymond.
The Giants. We get to play the Washington football team. We get to play the Eagles.
Yeah, and the tough games, or you got some easy spots on the road. The Jets, as you mentioned, are on the road. Indy might be. I think maybe outside of that stretch, Rams, New England, Indy is probably the toughest game that they have on the road because they're not used to playing in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I think that's right, but that's just because we just don't have any really tough road games. I'm not going to be like, it's a tough game because you don't play there a lot. Well, that happens every year. I mean, you go to a stadium, you don't play there a lot. Anything outside your division, the Buffalo, really the second half of the season, it's Colts, Buccaneers. They got the Panthers twice in the last 3 games.
They did that. They did that last year as well, except it was Atlanta. Atlanta, they played twice in the last 3 games.
Yeah, they like doing that. We usually play an NFC South team twice, either very early or late. It seems to happen one or the other every year, sometimes both. Because I think we did that with Carolina last year. I think by week 7 we'd played Carolina twice, and then we didn't play it. We didn't, like you said, we didn't play Atlanta till very late. So those last 3 games, Panthers, Jets, Panthers, looked to be a nice tune up like it was last year when we had those 4 games in a row with Minnesota, Atlanta, Detroit, Atlanta.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it matches. It's just good, and I think the Bucs will be favored in probably all of those games unless they get off to a bad start. Week 3, I think the Rams might be favored if the Bucs go maybe 1-1, and they don't look that good, or obviously 0-2 that they wouldn't do that. But I think Brady's going to come out and want to kill the Bears. Obviously, the Patriots game is huge. But I think getting the Rams and Patriots early is a big thing. We talked about the McVay-Stafford thing. We saw how long it took for, Tom Brady, Bruce Arians, Byron Leftwich sort of get on the same page. So getting the Rams early rather than late, I think, is sort of a blessing there. Yeah. And then the Patriots, who's going to be? Who's it going to be? Are we going to face Cam Newton, or are we going to face
Mac Jones?
Yeah, and either one, I don't fear, because it'll probably be Mac Jones' 4th game at most. I think it's going to end up being Cam Newton, and Cam Newton, he just shoulders broken, his foot's broken. He still thinks he's way better than he is, and he'll crumble because that's what he does, and blame other people and all that kind of stuff. So looking at the schedule, man, I got him going 20-0. So let's win the Super Bowl. So my prediction of being 28, right in the midst of a 28-0 win streak, is still intact.
Yeah, it certainly helps that the schedule makers were kind. You mentioned the kindness. Strength of schedule from last year, 29th. I believe combined record was 129 and 140. These teams. So you look at it, they were very kind to the Bucs, and obviously you have them going 20-0 here this year. It's for a 28-game winning streak.
Blaine Gabbert's going undefeated.
Vegas has them at 11.5.
Really?
So that's the starting win total.
Wow, that's
in Vegas.
I'd take the over.
Yeah, I think I would too.
There's 17 games this year, remember?
Yeah. So yeah, they have them going 11-6 or 12-5 here this year, and for a team that went 11-5 last year, to be at 11.5,
they'd have to lose every tough game to lose. Okay, let's pick out 5 losses here: Rams, Patriots, Bills, Colts, and then split with somebody in the division.
I think
Cowboys week 1.
Yeah,
that's hard, man.
For them to go 11-6, I see them having to lose the Rams, the Patriots. Yeah, well, no, but I'm saying the jerk. I see them having to lose to the Rams, Patriots, the Saints in the Superdome, the Bills at home.
Yeah,
and then maybe split with one of the other 2 divisional teams, whether that's Atlanta.
Losses.
No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, all right then.
Yeah, exactly.
Take
the over.
I think it's going to be really, and then they would have to lose a game that they would have
Chicago.
They would have. Yeah, or they would have to lose.
They would have to lose every tough game and then lose a game that you're not supposed to.
That they're not supposed to. Yeah,
ain't happening.
Like if they were to lose, to the Cowboys in the kickoff game,
right?
Because everybody thinks that Dallas is much better than they ever are at the beginning of the year, and they would lose that game just to solidify everybody's thought that the Cowboys are back.
Yeah. If the Cowboys win that, or if Tampa Bay loses, however you want to look at it, oh my God, the Cowboys are back.
Oh my God, all the ass kissing of Jerry Jones. But yeah, I mean that's what it would be. You would have to lose all the games that are potential coin flips and then lose a game that you're supposed to win. That's the only way you get to 11.
Yeah.
Get down to 11.
Yeah. Take the over.
Yeah. 11.5. Take the over. I will slam that over as well. I think that it's maybe the best schedule that this team has had to deal with. I mean,
I can't remember a schedule that's been that favorable. And again, the NFC South is down this year, and we get to play the NFC East. I feel like the Patriots, playing the AFC East for all those years, and I get to play.
And
Buffalo.
We're playing the AFC East.
Yeah, I get to, I get to play Buffalo, and I get to play the Jets, and I get to play oh God, who am I?
Miami.
I get to play Miami twice a year. Like, come on now. Like, I'm starting the season at 5-1 worst.
Yeah, and this year the Bucs are playing a Panthers team that, are they gonna have Sam Darnold under quarterback?
Will even be starting by then?
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what you got in. You don't know what the quarterback situation is going to be in New Orleans. You don't know what the quarterback situation is going to be in Carolina and
New
the
England.
Falcons. The Falcons, okay. You're gonna have to deal with
I think we're gonna split the Falcons. I think
Julio Jones. That December 5th game on the road against Atlanta. That has 16 catches for 180 yards and 3 touchdowns from Julio Jones.
They've been able to score points for years, and last year they scored a lot of points against us. And then add Kyle Pitts into it, and then the defense can't possibly be as bad as it was last year. It just can't. So yeah, it's the Falcons. I think the Falcons are gonna be better than people think.
Yeah.
Last year I remember right in the middle of Drew Brees' prime, the Saints went 7-9 3 years in a row, but they were losing games 42-40. And then they finally shored up the defense, and they went on that, sort of run where they won the NFC South year after year after year, and
indeed
got screwed in the playoffs by themselves, or their head coach's bad karma because he's a jerk, or the refs. Like, it went rough for the Saints, man. But they had like the best, definitely one of the best, maybe the best football team, the past 3 out of the past 4 years, I think, in the NFL.
Yeah, and. So and what do the Saints have to show for it? Not a goddamn thing.
A rule change.
Yep.
A play that has a nickname.
Yep.
And you lost to Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, and you got 0 Lombardis out of it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh well.
So. Oh well. As DTM Jax has put in our comments here on YouTube, it always seems to lose a game you should win. It's just the way the NFL goes. Colts away will be tough. I look at it this way: that you always seem to lose a game you should win, and you always win a game that you should lose.
Yeah, I call that the University of Wisconsin.
The University of Wisconsin.
That's what they do every year. They win 10 games,
mm-hmm.
and they'll beat this isn't true, but they'll beat Ohio State, and then they'll lose to Rice. And that's what Wisconsin does every year. They win 10 games. They go to the Rose Bowl. By the end of the year, they're in the top 10, like about 7,
mm-hmm.
because they'll win their bowl game. But they'll lose to, Mary Sis and Christian of the Blind.
Yeah.
And then beat everybody else.
They lose to Rutgers.
Yeah, exactly. Lose to Rutgers, beat Ohio State. And that's 10 games Rose Bowl victory. Wisconsin. That's it.
Yeah, and never getting the national championship.
No, because you can't. You lost to Rutgers. Come on now.
Exactly. You lost to Rutgers. Come on, man.
You can't get in the playoffs. You lost to Rutgers.
So there you go. There's the schedule in a nutshell. I certainly believe that. Yeah, slam the over, smash the over.
Smash
Thomas
the over.
Says. Smash it. I want to see that over at 12.5 by the start of the regular season. I'd love to see that.
Okay.
After watching the 3 preseason games, you could see the over.
Kyle Trask will become a living legend.
That's right.
And as soon as Tom Brady throws a pick 6, people will be calling, "Why not try out Trask? I've never seen him throw a pick 6 before."
Indeed. Indeed. Oh, by the way, the preseason games, Was it Cleveland, Houston, and who's the third? I think
hang on. I didn't even look at them. Bengals.
That's right. So it's Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Houston. So you've got 2 AFC Norths and an AFC South.
No, I've got Titans here.
Oh, I'm sorry. So 2 AFC Souths and an AFC North.
Yeah. Texans, Titans, Bengals.
All right. So
3-0 there, here, man.
Let's bounce then as we get ready to wrap things up. It's time for the Ren Addiction. Ren, tell them where you can get you.
Sorry. Best place to find me is on Twitter at Rendax, REN_DAXT. I'm always down to talk Buccaneers football, but if your take is too hot or you don't want to put it out there on the Twitter sphere, feel free to slide my DMs and I'll talk Buccaneers football with you there as well too.
And you can find me on social media at Steve Carney. Check out thepetercast.com, thepetercast.live, and also fansided.com, where the Petercast is the official podcast of the Fansided Network. Subscribe wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, a rating and a review would be nice as well, so we can reach as many Bucs fans as possible. Thanks to everybody who joined us on the live stream. And until next time, are you ready, Ren?
Oh, yeah, I got it. It's 2 times in a row I've been ready.
Twice in a row now. Right. And we'll say until next time.
28-0.
Go Buck yourself.